Hey, yo, what is up? Today's video is about peripherals and what I've learned on my journey. Now, I hope this video will help you get the most of your hardware without breaking the bank. Now, I will cover the monitor, the headphones, the keyboard, the keycaps, the mouse switches, mouse feet, and the mouse pad. And if you stick around to the end, I'll share with you some software that you can use if you're OCD like me. Now, as usual, everything is time-stamped, so you can easily skip to what you're interested in. Well, we'll start with the monitor. I bought a new Gigabyte M27 monitor about a year and a half ago, and I had to do a return merchandise authorization or a warranty claim on it after about 15 months because it was developing some artifacts at the bottom of the screen. I contacted the online shop that I bought it from, and they told me to contact the main distributor directly, to process my claims directly with them. So basically, the online shop wouldn't deal with me and basically asked me to go directly to the distributor. Now, the distributor asked me to deliver it to them personally because they didn't have any kind of free pickup services for RMA. I decided to do this another way because the distributor's office was located in the center of the busiest part of the city where traffic would have been impossible and the parking fees would have been atrocious, and more importantly, it would have taken like 4 hours out of my life. So instead, I took it to my regular PC shop where I paid a $25 processing fee, and they managed everything for me. 6 weeks later, Gigabyte from, I don't know, China or Taiwan, wherever they're from, they issued a cash refund, but at the current pricing, which was about $120 less than what I paid for it. So I lost $145 after the refund, but it was enough for me to get the new Acer Nitro XV272U, basically the same monitor, same spec as the Gigabyte M27Q, a 27-inch monitor, 1440p, 165 Hz, and total price for this was $247 self pickup. Next up are my keyboards. I've been a Razer, I bought the cheapest Razer Black Widow in 2015 and it's been RMA'd about 5 times. I basically returned this 5 times and every time they gave me a different one. They gave me a non-backlit one. I started off with that and then I got the one with the green backlit keys, and then in the end I ended up with a full RGB Black Widow Ultimate or whatever, I don't remember the name, but I've recently just switched to the HyperX Alloy Origins because Wargaming sent me a care package of HyperX gear for Christmas 2020, and it's been sitting in my storage for 2.5 years. I decided that I wanted to freshen up my desk since I got a new monitor, so I pulled out the new keyboard. I switched out the keycaps to these PBT keycaps. They're white and they only cost like $7.50 shipped to my door. So basically I got a new keyboard, put white keycaps on it, and it looks pretty cool. So anyway, that is my keyboard setup, which is this one again, the HyperX Alloy Origins and the PBT keycaps. And next up are my headphones. These are my daily drivers that you see over here. These are Sony's MDR E9LP. These are like super cheap. They're like $7 to $10. I've used a variety of them, from the Samsung AKGs that came with the phones, Audio Technicas, and now I'm using Sony's. I really like the regular style headphones because I prefer being able to hear my surroundings, my dogs, my neighborhood, etc. I also have the HyperX Cloud Alpha S headset that I never used because it's just too bulky and it's just too hot over my ears. But I do have some IEMs that I like for editing. These are called the 7 Hz sound notes, or there they are right under the monitor. And basically this is what they look like. They're pretty cool. If you're playing games and all that, it's pretty cool because it is basically noise cancelling, something like that, because it shoves straight into your ears. If you have to use a mic while wearing these IEMs, however, you tend to talk louder because you can't hear your own voice, so you gotta get used to that. Now I know in the States you get them for $22, $23, not including shipping. But over where I am, they are significantly cheaper. So for $15, you really can't go wrong with these kind of headphones anyway. Next up are my mouses. Now I've been on the Death Adder Razer since 2015 when I got my first gaming rig. It looks like this one without the buttons here. You know, all the Razer products that I have, these are no different. I've had them RMA'd 6 times. So I started with the basic Death Adder, and every time they replaced a broken one, they would upgrade it a little bit. After about 6 upgrades, I ended up with this one, which is the Death Adder Elite. And the shop that I bought the Death Adder from told me that Razer would no longer honor my warranty claims in the future because of, quote, the warranty period only covers the first 2 years of the mouse that I originally purchased. So what they're telling me is that they didn't want to cover the replacement mice that they RMA'd to me. Now, I don't know what the warranty policies are in Asia, but I've been dealing with warranty claims all my life with US companies, and there's one thing I know for a fact is how proud American companies are in backing their product. Usually all it takes is a serial number and a photo of the broken or defective product, and they will almost immediately ship out a replacement. They don't even require you to send the broken product back. So Razer, if you're watching, make better switches and tell your Asian partners to honor your product and make your brand proud. Anyway, back to my daily driver, the Death Adder Elite. It's broken down on me twice, all within 18 months since receiving it as a replacement in 2020. The mouse wheel broke. I had to get a replacement for that mouse wheel, and over here to get a replacement was only $3, and to replace it myself, it's just a couple of screws, easy job. You watch a tutorial on YouTube and it's done. And then a couple of weeks ago, actually, I had the Death Adder break down on me again. This time it was one of the switches, and I did consider fixing it myself. The soldering kit was $8 and the switch was only $2, but I managed to find a guy near me who would do it for $5, so I sent it to him instead. Now it was a little dodgy because I had to drop it off at some random bus stop and come back 5 days later to pick it up. But this guy had tons of positive reviews, so I just went with it. While it was getting fixed, I pulled out the new HyperX Pulsefire Surge that Wargaming sent to me in the care package 2 years ago. And after one day, I decided that it was too small for my hands. And for reference, the HyperX is only 120mm from front to back, while the Razer Death Adder is like 127. So you can see the Razer Death Adder is significantly larger, and it suits my hand a little bit better than the HyperX. But anyway, my Death Adder Elite is backed, and I opted for the Kailh switches on the mouse 1 and mouse 2 button, and I cannot recommend it more. In fact, I want all my future mouses to have silent switches, and my keyboard too if I can. These switches are effortless to actuate compared to the standard Razer mouse buttons, and after using them you can actually feel like the normal clicky switches are springy, which is how they get their clicky sounds. These silent switches are just so easy to click on and great for spamming if you're firing guns, for example, single shotters, for example. Anyway, I digress. So while I sent my Death Adder out for repairs, I decided to do some research on a new wireless mouse, and I ended up with this. the Pulsar X Lite V2, which is $65 shipped. Now I got this mouse because one, it's an ergonomic shape which I like my Razer mouse, and two, the price point delivers the best value versus the competition. This is not a budget gaming mouse, but instead it's a premium wireless mouse that is priced correctly. Now this is a super light mouse at 60 grams. The Razers are like 100 grams, and it's the cheapest premium wireless mouse at the moment. Now in my opinion, mouses shouldn't cost more than $10 to make, because the components aren't, fancy, cutting edge, and the technology is already maxed out. But saying that, the X Lite V3 of this version is coming out soon, and it will have an OLED screen built in at the bottom, which means you don't need to run any kind of software for the mouse to work. And this is catering to the competitive gamers who take their equipment to LAN events, and this just saves you a lot of hassle because you don't need to install any kind of hardware to sync your mouse and to do any of the DPI tunings and settings and stuff like that. So that is the new mouse that I probably will not be getting. Oh, by the way, all my mouse skates are Teflon PTFE feet or skates. To be honest, the stock Razer skates are pretty good. They're pretty, they slide pretty well, but aftermarket Teflon skates cost about $3 to $5 shipped, and I highly recommend everyone to use them because they glide over your mouse pad like a baby's backside, and you can totally feel an improved experience in your aim. These would probably be the first mod you want to make to improve your gaming feel. You can also see that I am using a silicone wrist rest. I don't know if you guys, I actually didn't show you this yet, but I use this wrist rest while I'm gaming and while I'm browsing. It is really nice. In fact, I also switched out the mouse feet and I put the tiger eyes on it to replace it. It came with black, the standard mouse feet, which is fine, but the Teflon PTFE skates are even better on this. These originally are called Carpio and they run about like $40, but I'm using a generic branded one which is about $3 shipped. They work great for me. If you find yourself gaming with like a compression sleeve, like a lot of players do when they're playing first-person shooters, if you're using a sleeve, maybe this could be an accessory that you can consider using. I don't know anyone else that's using it, but who knows, maybe I'm going to start a trend. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, next up are my mouse pads, and I thought this would be interesting. I started in 2015 with the Steel Series QCK, which is what I think everybody used this mouse pad. It is very good. It is fairly cheap, but I had to change them out pretty quickly because the rubber underneath where my wrist is, it would corrode. When I'm resting on it, it would corrode the rubber, and that rubber would end up sticking on the desk, and I destroyed 2 of these mouse pads for $15 each. And after that, I decided to just buy the cheapest mouse pad there is to buy, and I landed on this one. Let me show you. This is the Fantech Sven, and this mouse pad was like I can't remember how much it was. I think it was something like $3 shipped it, and I used it for about a year. As you can see, it's like a jeans kind of material, like denim. It's not something I would recommend because the material feels kind of rough. Now that I look back at it, it's smooth when you're gliding over it, not a problem, but you can feel the material on the palm of your hand. You can feel it is rough, and after about a year I decided to change it up, and I landed on a smoother surface, which I got from another mouse pad, which is the one that was underneath this one, which is also a Fantech, but this is called the Fantech Agile. The downside on this mouse pad is you can see it moving, even though I've got it placed on top of another mouse pad. And this is why I could not use this mouse pad, because if you're a little bit aggressive, it'll start moving on you. It does not have a soft rubber base, but it is still a pretty good mouse pad for the price. I think this mouse pad was $6 shipped to me, so it's pretty cheap mouse pad. And after I got rid of this mouse pad, I landed on the next one, which is this one that I've been using for a month and a half, 2 months now. This is called the TechWear Haste, and the TechWear Haste is 350 by 350, measures 350 by 350 across and top and bottom, and it's pretty good. The material is cloth material, and it's like, I don't know how to say, it is very smooth, not as silky smooth like the silk material. It is not that. This is a cloth material. I think most pro players would call this a controlled pad. It is not fast, it is not slow. This one is called the TechWear Haze. Now I blacked out mine with a black marker, but this is what it looks like. It actually has a white color markings, Haste here, and then this tab here on the side called TechWear on the side, which I also blacked out on mine. It has stitching on the side, which is very nice and gentle on the edge of your forearm. Really nice and gentle. $8 shipped. It is perfectly square, 350 by 350. Very, very good mouse pad. Now, I've done some extensive research on mouse pads, and the most premium mouse pads, according to reviewers, are artisan mouse pads from Japan, or the Lethal Gaming Gear Pro series, and they cost about $65. Now I would totally buy one if I did not land on a mouse pad that I liked. If this mouse pad was shit, I would spend more money to buy a nice mouse pad, but this one is perfect. It is really good for $8. In fact, far from shit, this mouse pad is the shit. For $8, I cannot recommend it enough. It's checking all the right boxes, and it's working perfect for me. So if you don't have a big desk, you have 350 depth, 350 across, this will be a good mouse pad to land on. But if you have the real estate, and for this video I actually went ahead and did it, I went to IKEA to get the famous mouse pad. This mouse pad from IKEA is rumored to be just as good as the Artisan or the Lethal Gaming Gear mousepad. This mousepad is $8.79 pickup. I know in the States it's like $12-13, but where I'm from, this is only $8.79 if I picked it up myself, which is pretty cheap. This is called the Lone Aspilare mousepad, and it's rumored to be just as good as the Artisan or the Lethal Gaming Gear mousepad. It is a cloth material. The thickness is 4 millimeters, but to be honest with you, I can't tell the difference between this and the previous one, the TechWear Haste. TechWear Haste was 3 millimeters. This is supposed to be 4, but it feels exactly like a 3 millimeter mousepad. It is really good. It is fast. Well, fast for a controlled pad, it is fast. I know there are a lot faster pads out there, like there's glass mouse pads and there is the artisan high-end mouse pads that, have a mixed surface between cloth and a textured surface. Those are much, much faster. This is not as fast as those, but this is considered a very fast controlled mouse pad. And for $8.79, I cannot recommend this enough, because this is absolutely amazing. The only difference between this and the TechWear mousepad is that the way the material is lined up. If you look at it on close up, you can see that the TechWear material is lined up almost straight and across. It's like a shape of a cross, while the IKEA one on the right is more like a X shape. So it is exactly the same material, but this one is laid like a cross, this one is laid like an X, and that's the only difference between the two pads. They both feel exactly the same. So in my opinion, if you don't want to spend $65 on a branded expensive mousepad, just spend $8, $9, $13 on an IKEA mousepad that will work exactly as a nice expensive one. The only downside of the IKEA one, if you can call it a downside, is it does not have the sewn edge. It does not have the rounded edges. So it can be irritating if you're running your forearm across it. It could be not so nice for some people. It could be a deal breaker for you guys, I don't know, but for me it is not. It is hunky-dory. I got no problems with it. Here again, the IKEA on the right, you can see it's more of a X pattern, while the TechWear Haste is more of a cross or crucifix pattern. So yeah, but that is, there you go, another close up for you. The IKEA on the right, the TechWear Haste on the left, and this is the stitching from the TechWear Haste. And the last bit of news or information that is the most important that I wanted to share with you is a program that I use called Raw Accel. Now, Raw Accel, I have to show it to you in a demo. So basically, this is how the demo will work. This is Raw Accel. Now, as you can see, this is actually a DPI mouse acceleration software, but I'm not using the acceleration software. I am using the rotation software. If you can notice the way I grip my mouse, I am not gripping my mouse straight up. I'm gripping it at an angle which is like a 12 degree. And if you want to find out what kind of angle you are gripping yours in, let me demonstrate to you how to do that. First, I'm going to clear this up and zero this, and then we will open up Microsoft Paint. And if you put your arm where you naturally rest and you start drawing across, and if you draw across and you see your mouse not going left and right, instead it's going up and down, that is because you are holding your mouse at an angle. You're not holding it straight like this. If you were holding it straight, let's see if I can show you. Let's say I'm holding my mouse straight like that, and then I'm going across left to right, and that's when I can get my lines straight. Now, this is important if you are targeting left and right? So this is what the Raw Accel does. If you are holding your mouse in a natural way where it is slanted to one side like mine is here, and you go left to right and you notice your mouse doing that, this is where Raw Accel will help you out. You use the rotation here. I've discovered that mine is negative 12 degrees, so I set it to 12 degrees, apply, and now if I clear this out and start new, where's that file, new? Okay, so I'll start a clean fresh. Now you can see my mouse is angled, and I'm going to draw lines on it across left to right. You can see it is fairly straight. So I can hold my mouse in this position and I can still strafe across my gun strafe left to right without it losing any kind of altitude, or going like that or going like that. So I can just pretty naturally go left and right without having to adjust my mouse to keep it straight like that, which is very unnatural for my hand. But anyway, this is raw Accel. I will leave you a link to read about how it works and how to install it. Again, this is a DPI acceleration program that I do not use. I only use the rotation mechanics in the program, and there's a video and a blog on how you can install it, and also a video on how you can make it load as you boot it up, so that you don't have to turn it on every time you load into a game or every time you turn on your computer. Instead, you just follow the instructions here. Once you have installed raw Accel, you can have it basically boot up together with your computer, and you can just basically set it and forget it. So anyway, this is raw Accel, and this is the end of the video. All the stuff that I have for you about the peripherals that I use and how you can save a ton of money if you know what you are looking for, and if you have like a cheap budget, a low budget, and you want to save money, I can suggest to you the best modifications is of course always going to be the mouse feet. That is going to improve your glide tremendously, and that is going to be a very good investment for $3 to $5. Change the mouse skates to PTFE Teflons, and you will feel like you are aiming like a pro. It feels really nice on the mouse pad, and it feels very nice even when you are playing World of Tanks. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you on the next one. Bye bye.